Hi everybody, my name is Joel Pitney. I'm the founder of Launch My Book, and today we are going to be talking about book economics. Can you make your money back when writing a book and self-publishing it, especially on your first one? And we're going to be looking at it through the lens of writing the book as a business or writing the book as a hobby. But before we do that, I want to remind everyone, please like and subscribe. You'll be able to get access to all the great videos that we have on our channel. So the idea for this video came up out of a lot of conversations that I've had with many authors in my role in the company. I'd probably talk to somewhere between 10 and 20 authors a week in different capacities. And one of the most common questions I get from people is, hey, am I going to make my money back? What are my chances that I'll be able to do that? Now, most of the people I speak to, they're first-time authors. Most are self-publishing. And most don't have any ambitions of being a New York Times bestseller or getting rich or famous. They have a book that they've always wanted to write, a novel, a memoir. Maybe it's a book about a particular approach to personal development or business leadership. And they just want to get it out there. They're not a professional writer. And a lot of them say, hey, look, I'm not trying to get rich here, but I'd love to make my money back. What are my chances? And I always tell people, you know what? You probably won't. And I'm a big believer that it's important to be honest about that. Now, if you're not going to make your money back, why do it? Right? A lot of people, why would you bother? And the way I like to think about this, and this came out of some conversations I had with one of my colleagues, Sadie Walker, who also works with a lot of authors every day, is that, look, there's two ways to think about the profitability of your book. One is, hey, are you going to invest in this like it's a business, or are you going to consider it to be a hobby? And let's talk about the business piece first. And what I have seen and what I've experienced and what I've heard from many other people in the industry is that if you want to start turning a profit on your book, you need to start thinking about it like a business. You need to invest in it. I mean, imagine starting a business and thinking you're going to turn a profit in 2 weeks. It's just not going to happen, right? Most people say that it takes 5 years to turn a profit into business, right? You've got to establish your core product, which takes a lot of R&D, right? You've got to invest in marketing. You've got to invest in personnel. You've got to build all these different things. And everyone knows that you often lose money in the beginning. It's a loss leader. That's why people have to get funding and capital and all these different things. It takes time to start turning a profit. And it's similar with a book. It just is. Now, the great Michael Larson, who wrote this book here, How to Write a Book Proposal, he's a former literary agent. He's also the founder of the San Francisco Writers Conference. He suggests that you have to write 3 books in order to start turning a profit. And those books need to sell themselves. So if you're a novelist, you might write a series and, with similar characters, and people would want to read the first, then read the second, then read the third. Maybe if you're a business person, you might talk about your philosophy in the first book, then the practicum in the second, then maybe case studies in the third, right? There's a lot of different ways to do that. But the idea is you're in this for the long haul, right? I don't necessarily think it has to be 3 books. I think that number is a little bit arbitrary, but I do think it's going to take you time, right? So even if you're only publishing 1 book, it's going to take you years of cultivating that audience, right? You might publish that book initially, but you've got to get out there. You've got to be on podcast tours. You've got to be trying new marketing approaches. You've got to be out there on social media with people. You need to build a follower of readers for your ideas. That takes time. It takes money. And everybody knows that building a market base for your company, for your product, for your business takes time, and you lose money in the beginning. That's just kind of how it works. And so I think that for first-time authors, if you want to make money in the long run, you need to think about it in the long run. You can't think, hey, this first book right away in the first 6 months is going to turn a profit. It's just not. It's expensive to develop a good book. You have to invest in a lot of resources, and it takes time to earn the money back. So that's one approach. So if you're thinking, hey, can I make my money back? Your chances are good in the long term if you're willing to invest in this like a business. But not everybody's up for that. Not everybody wants to invest in their book like a business. They don't want to write multiple books. They don't want to spend the time and money and energy and the years it takes to build that momentum. They just want to get their book out there, right? And maybe it's more. We have a lot of people we work with who publish many books, but they don't necessarily think of them as a business either. This category of author, I think of it as a hobby. Writing a book is like a hobby. A lot of people love to write, right? Or they have this passion for something they want to get out there. It's very similar to having a hobby. And in a hobby, you don't expect to make your money back, right? My wife loves to do art. She paints, she does crafting, she does collages. It's something she buys a lot of art materials. She takes classes, she goes to studios, she does all this kind of stuff, but she doesn't make her money back. She doesn't sell her artwork. She does it because she loves it, right? I'm into whitewater rafting. It's a really fun hobby, but it's also an expensive hobby. You have to buy all the gear. It's taken me years to build up the amount of gear that I want and a lot of money. And I don't expect to get my money back. And so I think for a lot of authors, if you're not going to take that business route and invest time, energy, money, you're going to take the hobby route. You need to think of your book kind of like that. And you can't necessarily expect to make all your money back. It's still okay. You can still sell a decent amount of copies. You can make some money back, right? And that's great. But it's important that any author, aspiring author who wants to do this gets really clear about which path they're going to be. Are they going to invest like a business, or this can be more like a hobby? And in either case, you have to be real about the economics. In the business side, it's going to take you time to start turning a profit, investment, money, multiple books. If it's going to be a hobby, you're probably not going to make your money back, but that's okay, because who makes their money back on a hobby? So anyway, that's my philosophy. It's not always right. There's plenty of exceptions. I would love to hear comments. I would love to hear questions. I would love to hear arguments against me. Feel free to share those in the comments, and also please like and subscribe. Thank you very much.